The movement of the water is something that is really, really special. That total immersion, it's just you and the elements. Generally, I get up at 5:30 every morning. I wake the kids up and we head off for a surf. It's wonderful with a sport like that. In the beginning, it's hard yards when you're teaching them, but you always begin with the end in mind. And the end is having a relationship with people you love, doing something that you love. Yeah, I think as an entrepreneur, having a supportive partner is actually crucial. And in Sue, you know, she's my best friend. We've always had the end goal in mind. Our mantra in life has always been memories, relationships, and experiences. And we've carried that through to our business. The previous partnerships that I've gone into have typically been in property. And I've worked with investors both locally and internationally. And what I've typically brought to the party is youth and enthusiasm. Being an entrepreneur certainly allows you to have your antenna up. I suppose you'd call it your reticular activator. You know, when you want to move in a certain direction, you tend to find lots of people that are moving in that direction. And the key there is just to find the right people to move along with, because that controls the speed at which you move forward. I've drawn a lot of inspiration from an entrepreneur called Peter Diamandis. He wrote a book called Bold. In that book, he spoke about another 3 billion people coming online by 2020. I wasn't online. I didn't have an online business, but I realized I needed to learn. I found out everything I could about that industry, and literally over a process of 3 years, I looked at over 100 different businesses. I think it was Steve Jobs said that the goal of every entrepreneur should be to make a dent in the universe. So I looked at a business not that just had a financial reward, but something that could actually do something good for mankind. One of the businesses that I came across was a company called English Forums. It was a question and answer site that had started out as an old-fashioned forum. They'd actually helped or impacted about 250 million people. That's over a 17-year period. Even though it had impacted that many people, it had done so without 1 cent of advertising. And I saw an opportunity there in actually taking that idea and that business and turning it into something that over the next 10 years could impact 1 billion people. If you want career advancement, if you want to get into aviation, the sciences, medicine, research, the internet, all of those mediums use English as the de facto language of choice. 55% of web content is still in English, and yet only 20% can actually understand or speak English, and only 5% of the world's population are native English speakers. If 1 out of 5 people can speak English now, understand English now, what could happen if we could get 2 out of 5 people to understand and speak English? How could we collaborate as a species if another 1.5 billion people could suddenly understand each other? I see English Forward developing into a platform that can help people to learn the language. If they have an internet connection and a smart device, they'll have access to a quality education and an opportunity to make whatever they want of their lives because they've got access to a tool that'll help them with their communication. Nelson Mandela said, "Education is the great engine of personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that a child of farm workers can become the president of a great nation. It is what we make of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another." 6 or 7 years ago, Sue and I decided to homeschool our kids. They were both in private schools and were doing exceptionally well. But we just wanted the opportunity of spending time with them as they grew up. Now remember, our kids were in a very fortunate position because they were in private schools. But the education system in South Africa is absolutely crippled. There's so many people that leave school that are illiterate, that have no hope for the future. It started to weigh heavily on me. Was I doing anything worthwhile that could actually contribute to people that were less fortunate than me? When I found English Forums, I saw an opportunity not just to impact the youngsters and people in our country, but to actually impact people globally. I think I saw that it had already impacted many, many people, and the opportunity with a fresh look, a revamped platform to actually go out and really make a dent in the universe. Nelson Mandela said, "Without language, one cannot talk to people and understand them. One cannot share their hopes and aspirations, grasp their history, appreciate their poetry, or savor their songs."